So we need to talk about how we can actually make some of these weird equation forms into slope-intercept form. And just a reminder of some of the characteristics of it, you'll always see the y by itself. The slope is always put before the y-intercept. So that m is, we would fill that in with any type of number. That's the slope. And the b, we would fill that in with different numbers that you've seen on other work that we've done this chapter. So here's the standard form, and I want to change it into slope-intercept, okay, into the y equals mx plus b format. That's where your slope, um, well, let me redo that one. That's where your slope comes first and your y-intercept comes next. So the idea is because the slope-intercept is the y all by itself, we want to rearrange this where we get this y all by itself. And it's actually, pretty easy. How do we get the 2x to go away on this left side? Well, we could subtract 2x because it was a positive 2x, and that would make it go away. But you remember that if we subtract 2x on the left side, we've got to subtract 2x on the right side. And then this happens. The 3y drops straight down. And do me a favor there. This is going to become your slope because it's in front of the x. See that 2 right next to the x, the negative 2 is right next to the x. And so as a result, we're going to drop that down first. And that'll save us some steps there. And then the 6, that just drops down. Now, look in front of this 6. Is it a positive or negative? You would say positive, and because of that, we put a plus sign there. Just maybe one more step after this and we're done. We need to get this y all by itself. We don't want the y to go away, we just want the y to drop down. So since the 3 is multiplying the y, we will divide by 3. And here's the little catch. This term gets divided by 3, and this term gets divided by 3 also. So the y is free. Negative 2/3 x, that doesn't divide into anything nice. It's a repeating decimal, so we'll just leave it as negative 2/3 x. And 6 divided by 3 is positive 2. So there you have it. We've got the slope right here, and we've got the intercept right here. So slope-intercept form, the y is all by itself. Here we go here. Get the y by itself. So get rid of the x term. Everything drops that's not needed. Make sure you slide this slope term into proper place there. We want that first. That's a positive 12, so we'll put plus 12. And then divide by 4. Always something, if you heard that. We can't divide anything nicely there, so we're just going to let it stay there. And then 12 divided by 4 is 3. So there we have it. That's slope-intercept form. We could graph it. This is our y-intercept. This is our slope. What about this one? Well, we can minus the 5x on both sides. The minus y drops down. Our slope term needs to come down first, and our intercept term would come down after it because we want slope-intercept. I know I'm saying it a lot. That was a positive 20, so we're going to put a plus sign there. Now, do you remember that because there's a negative sign here, we know there's a 1 right here. So we have to acknowledge the fact that it's a negative 1 times y. We don't want the negative 1 there, so we're going to have to divide. And this makes it very, very easy. Negative divided by negative is positive. Negative 5 divided by negative 1 is positive 5, and the x just drops with it. And positive 20 divided by negative 1 is negative 20. One more that I want to show you. The y drops down. This is a positive, so pretty much we're free. Now we just got to order it correctly. This is a negative 3x, and the 5, the y-intercept term, is going to drop down here, and because it's positive, we put a plus sign. If it was a negative, in fact, let me actually change that. Let me do that right now. If it was negative like that, then instead of putting a plus sign there, well, this negative 5 would just fall right down behind it. And so y equals negative 3x minus 5. And since there's nothing in front of this y, there's no negative sign, there's no coefficient, we're good. We've made that the slope-intercept form. And now you know how to go from a standard form to the slope-intercept form so you can easily graph it.